Get millionaires out of politics. Until it's a Democrat. People that are Christian and Catholic literally force their beliefs onto other people, and it's unfair. But you have to believe in genderism, or else you're a bad person. I'm a feminist against rapists and rape. Unless it's a woman of a different political party. Then I hope she gets raped and has a miscarriage and then won't be treated and will die. It's so offensive that men think we put on makeup and wear cute clothes to impress them when it's really for ourselves. But let's start the 4B movement, shave our heads and stop wearing makeup so they won't want us anymore. Men who expose their genitalia to women are disgusting and should be held accountable to the highest extents of the law. But let's put penises in women's locker rooms. Republicans are so misogynist, and misogynists are bad. But when the thousands of women saying that they don't want a man on their team because they kick their ass every time, those women don't matter. We must listen to the man. Black lives matter, but we're not going to talk about black on black crime, which is the highest amount of crime that the country sees. Men who don't have a uterus don't get to speak on abortion. But you can be a woman without a uterus. You voted for a rapist, but when Biden and Clinton were accused of rape, it didn't go to court, so it doesn't matter.
And away we go!
"58-year-old Richard Kenneth Cox is accused of exposing himself in the girls' locker room at Washington Liberty High School. Washington Liberty High School is one of 3 Arlington schools that have an indoor pool open to the public. It's managed by APS. The Arlington County Police Department told 7 News that a victim entered the locker room on October 21st and observed Cox exposing his genitals. Cox is facing several charges in Arlington County, including indecent exposure and loitering at a school, when he's been previously convicted of a child sex offense. Before Cox was charged in October, a woman told 7 News that she told the pool manager about the situation in September, but the manager allowed Cox to continue to use the girls' locker room because he identified as transgender. In a statement, APS told 7 News in part that, quote, APS permits pool patrons to access restrooms and facilities that correspond to their gender identity. We take every report of concerning or unsafe behavior very seriously and do not tolerate behaviors from any individual who is threatening or making others feel unsafe, end quote. Months before Cox allegedly exposed himself in the girls' locker room, Cox was charged in Fairfax County for allegedly exposing his genitals in a Planet Fitness women's locker room. The charge was dropped. On Wednesday, 7 News asked Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano why the indecent exposure charge was dropped, but Descano has not responded. In a motion to dismiss, Cox defended himself and said he identified as transgender, and Cox wrote, quote, nudity alone is not indecent, end quote. In 2007, Cox was convicted of possessing child pornography, and in 1992, Cox was convicted of taking indecent liberties with children in Arlington. According to court documents, Cox had visited a gymnasium in 1992 and exposed himself to multiple children and masturbated in front of the children. According to court records, Cox is a Tier 3 sex offender. Tier 3 offenses are the most serious type of sex offense with a required registration period of life. If Arlington Public Schools Googled Cox's name before allowing him to use the locker room, they would have found this post that says Cox is a sex offender and is the Virginia Department of Corrections most wanted in 2020. Although Cox is listed as a female in recent Arlington court documents, the Arlington County Sheriff's Office told 7 News that Cox is in their custody and is housed with men in a single cell. Nick Minock said.
I'm not afraid of you.
You will be